And we've got
Well, it was BBC Question Time last night, and comedian, commentator Konstantin Kisin was heckled by an audience member after saying that Britain is one of the best places in the world to live. Yeah, I know. When asked how do we create hope for young people, the trigonometry co-host was met with a lot of shame on you, they were shouting at him. Look, here it is, make your own mind up.
I think Sonny's absolutely right on a practical level, but I think at a cultural level there's something perhaps even more important, which is we've got to stop talking down our country. I'm a first-generation immigrant to this country, and I get annoyed hearing people talk endlessly about how we're the worst country in the world, we're the most sexist country in the world, we're the most racist country. It's all nonsense. This is one of the best places to live in the world, and that's what we should be talking about. The fact that we're... Shame on... Well, this is exactly the problem that I'm talking about.
Absolutely unbelievable. With me now to discuss this is author and broadcaster Jenny Barnett and special advisor for the UK-US Special Relationship Unit at the Legatum Institute, Sarah Elliott. Both of you, thank you very, very much. Jenny, if people don't think Britain's a great place to live, why don't they just leave?
That is not the question to ask.
That's the one I've asked.
Question to ask is the one you've asked. I do think that Great Britain is brilliant. Looked after my family when they came. I'm second generation, exactly the same background as Konstantin. But I think we have gone backwards. One of his critics said, since Brexit, we've turned into an intolerant, inward-looking and backwards bleep hole.
Because of all the Remainers, isn't it, Jenny?
Well, listen, I think that we are living in a two-tier society. I think that if you're Konstantin, you went to Edinburgh University and you've got a background that he's got, and he has been welcomed in. But I think if you are somebody coming in on a boat and you don't fit the criteria and you've got a government that is anti-humanitarian and breaking rules, then I think it is not a terrific place.
So shame on Konstantin Kisin for... When you say you don't meet the criteria, by the way, you don't meet the criteria of being a legal immigrant, right? But look, so I'll come back to you, Jenny. I'll come back to you. Look, Sarah, what do you make of that? When I saw that, I just saw the kind of self-entitlement, student politics nature of society that I think we've become. Someone daring to say that they think Britain is great, and then shame.
Exactly. I mean, where else do they want to live? What do they hold up as the ideal country? I mean, the UK is a fantastic country full of rule of law, opportunity, education, work. If you're an asylum seeker in a boat, you're getting £50 a week, free housing, and now you're getting a job like that. I know a lot of people who would really like it to be able to get a worker visa from the United States. Listen, I'm a first-generation immigrant. I came over here for love, and I decided to stay because it's a wonderful country full of opportunity, diversity. London is the most diverse city in the entire world. Everybody wants to be here. And why is that? Because we have culture, rule of law, opportunity, and fantastic people.
OK. Do you not think, though, Jenny, it just looks really pathetic when someone dares to... Why can't people be happy with Britain? Why do you have to be heckled for saying, you know what, I bloody love it here?
If you are living in poverty, if your child is living in poverty, if you're living in a room that's got mould, if you haven't got a house, if you don't have job prospects, what are you talking about? Yes, the women have smashed the glass ceiling. Yes, we have situations here that you don't have in other countries. Gays are not stoned, for instance. But we are moving into a situation where there's a polarization, where there are some people who can declare this is a wonderful country to live in if you're white with a few bob in the bank.
Which
but if you are...
is not, right? I mean, Konstantin is...
No,
I don't know if he classed himself as white. I don't know what he classed himself as. Yeah.
Well, he's exactly the same background as me. He is Russian Jewish. And if you're coming from a Putin-led, as one of your newscasters said before, if it's coming from a territorial place, a totalitarian place like that, then, yes, this is a wonderful country. But we have a class system which has only been invested in
Well,
Right, okay,
why is it that people are risking their lives to come to this country? It's much better to be somebody on the lowest rung of the ladder in the UK than it is to be in other countries. It's safer. There's opportunity. Listen, you cannot have equal outcomes, but you can strive for equal opportunity. And that's what this country does. And it offers so much free stuff. That's why people are coming.
If you are an immigrant if you're an immigrant and you're living in a boat, on a boat with no freedom, they are coming to.
But this is absolutely rubbish. Look, I'm sorry, Jenny, but that is rubbish. They literally have freedom. There's a taxpayer-funded bus service that can take them into the next town. They've got a basketball court. They've got a computer room. They've not even got curfew, Jenny.
If you are running away from a country where you face death and persecution and you come here, the least we can do to people like they did to my lot is to welcome them with open arms.
Very quickly.
We are welcoming them.
We are welcoming it. All right, okay, guys, look, thank you. We could have cracked on with that for the next hour. I'd like to do this again, actually, at some point soon. Both of you, thank you very much. Jenny Barnett there, who is an author and broadcaster, and Sarah Elliott, Special Advisor for the UK-US Special Relationship Unit at the Legatum Institute. Just to say, of course, the Legatum Institute is owned by the Legatum Group. The group is also one of the lead investors in GB News. Thank you very much. Coming up, a global row has broken out